And so it begins.
Are we having fun yet?
Yep, you read that correctly. Apparently, teams are inquiring about Dejounte Murray and Derrick White, and we definitely have to talk about this. Before we do, really quickly, if you guys want to support the channel, all you have to do is become a Patreon YouTube member, and you'll have a chance to win this monthly giveaway item for February, which is a Tim Duncan plaque. So, if you want to support the channel while still entering a monthly giveaway, please do that. If you're already a Patreon and YouTube member, don't worry about it. You're already entered. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So, teams calling Spurs on Dejounte Murray and Derrick White. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I don't know about this rumor. Obviously, we already know that teams have called about Derrick White. We already know that Dejounte Murray, there's been some type of talk where the Spurs might possibly be willing to get rid of him, maybe a season later. We don't know, okay? It's all up in the air. And when you're in the San Antonio Spurs, they keep things on the hush-hush. But, hey, things have gotten out before, and obviously the Spurs were willing to get rid of Bryn Forbes. So, hey, anything is possible. So, is this true? Apparently, it's coming from Zach Lowe of ESPN. Zach Lowe, he's pretty thorough. So, but you know, anyone can be wrong. If you're not Woj, anybody can be wrong. So do I think that the Spurs should listen to anything that, you know, franchise is asking of? And I have to say they will be fools not to listen. You have to at least listen to what teams are willing to give up. Now, with that being said, do not, and I don't think they would do this, okay? I don't think Brian Wright would do this, but do not sell short, because what you're getting out of Dejounte Murray and Derrick White, while they might not necessarily fit the timeline of what you want in the official rebuild, okay, when we're talking about Josh Primo and Devin Vassell and even Keldon, they don't necessarily fit it, but I do say this, and I say this with a lot of confidence, they are the definition of a success story when it comes to the Spurs. They are those experimental, should we take a chance on them? But sure enough, the San Antonio Spurs are able to make a monster out of these two, and that's what they've done. Now, Dejounte Murray, slightly different from Derrick White since he was already expected to be a lottery pick back in the day, and he just kind of fell down, similar to how Keldon Johnson fell down, and he just landed right in our hands, and the Spurs always liked him. So he might be a little different. He was probably going to be really good or pretty great anyway, but I will say this with Derrick White, one thing that he's lacked, and the only thing that Derrick White has lacked, is his confidence. But the San Antonio Spurs, they have managed to get that confidence out of him, and a confidence Derrick White is a monster. He's not going to be consistently great, but a confident Derrick White will bam on you. So overall, these are two guys that you don't necessarily want to get rid of because they are San Antonio Spurs success stories, but at the same time, it does make sense to at least listen. So let's just read this article really quickly. It's nothing really in depth, but I did find the stats in of itself to be pretty interesting. So after 2-decade run of playoff appearances, the San Antonio Spurs find themselves facing a third straight postseason-less season. Man, that's weird, isn't it? Anyway, as such, teams are starting to call about the availability, oh my goodness, of Spurs players, starting with guards Dejounte Murray and Derrick White. Murray is in the second year of a 4-year deal. He's been mentioned in the All-Star conversation, as he's averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 9.1 assists, that's crazy, and 2 steals per game this season. At just $15.4 million for the season, Murray is an inexpensive upgrade for almost any team at the point guard position. Spurs, just kudos for having foresight on Dejounte Murray. Everyone said this. I will say this, okay, and I really do mean this when I say this. When they signed him initially to this deal, I felt as if he was playing under that contract, and the Spurs believed in him so much, and they knew how good he could potentially be, and it paid off because now he's playing way above his pay grade, okay? I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, White is in the first year of a 4-year, $68 million extension, which I don't think is that bad. While his shooting has slipped, White is seen a solid two-way player that can play either guard position. I'll say this, the only reason why his shooting has slipped is because I don't think White is a shooter. I didn't like him taking on the catch and shoot role like he did for good part of the season. Kind of seems like they got away with that a little bit more, where he can be more facilitator and whatnot. But overall, I never liked it. But anyways, and then they talk about here, San Antonio rarely makes in-season trades, but they did trade Brent Forbes to Denver Nuggets. So yeah, but overall, man, it's one of those things where things are ramping up. All right, it's going to be some talk, and it's just a matter of, do the Spurs pull the trigger or not? Is it worth it? And honestly, I think it would be worth it. And that's just me. I just think it will be worth it. But you have to get a lot out of it. Don't just give them up for chump change, okay? It needs to be something substantial. It needs to be something that definitely improves the team going forward. And, you know, I don't think that there'll be a one-on-one player where you'll be able to trade Dejounte Murray and get a better player. It's going to be one of those things where if you trade Dejounte or Derrick, it's going to have to be some picks. It's going to have to be something in return other than just players, because I don't think you'll be able to do a one-on-one trade with Derrick White and Dejounte Murray and get the same that you're getting out of them right now. Even if that player is necessarily like more talented than those two, I think that what they bring to the San Antonio Spurs as far as leadership, experience, it's just one of those things that it's just not going to line up unless you're getting literally a superstar talent, which at this point I don't see happening at all. So that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll get with you later, man. Until next time.